hard cider is fantastic, and I think it's good any time of the year. But we decided since it's summertime, we're gonna do a raspberry lime. We've already opened the bag. Half of the bag is the liquid. The other half of the bag has all of your important parts in it. Once you cut this open, just be very careful. This side has all of your fermentables, all your juice, but this side sneakily has all of your information and packets. So now we're going to add our 2 pounds of corn sugar. We use corn sugar or dextrose during this period. My water's boiling, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because I don't want to scorch anything. This is not included in the kit. When you buy the kit, you're gonna need to buy a couple other pieces of ingredients. 2 pounds of corn sugar is one of them, and the other one is gonna be whatever method you're going to use for carbonation. We'll talk about that later when we're carbonating, but if you're gonna put this in a keg, that is important. And I'm just going to start kind of moving the water as I slowly add my sugar in. And notice it dissolves very quickly when you do it this way, so make sure you go ahead and don't just use hot water, but use boiling water. Everything's dissolved, but since we are putting this hot water into a bucket and it's plastic, I would never put boiling water into a bucket. It's gonna ruin your bucket. So I'm gonna let this sit for a couple minutes to let that temperature go down before we go on to the next step. Okay, in order to get all of the fermentables, I'm gonna put cold water in the bag. You see there's still stuff left. So we're gonna put some cold water in there. You gotta rinse it out so we get it all. I think one more time.
Okay, so the next step is you're going to top up the bucket to 6 gallons of just regular water. Okay. Now we're just going to take our spoon that we've sanitized and give that a nice stir. Make sure everything mixed together. Now we are going to add our yeast. Then we're gonna add our sweetener pouch. Now the key here is it's on preference. So if you like a really sweet cider, you're going to want to add all of this. If you like a medium sweet, you're gonna add half. And if you just want a dry cider, you won't add this at all. But just for the sake of this recipe, I'm gonna go ahead and add the whole thing now. And then we'll just give that a stir. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put the lid on this guy. And then we will take our 3-piece airlock that we've added sanitizing solution to, and just put that in the grommeted hole there. So then we're just going to leave this bucket to sit in kind of a room temperature 64 to 74 degree place for the next 6 days, which we will do the next step, which is to check the specific gravity and see if it's ready for bottling.
All right, so now it's time for us to take a specific gravity reading to ensure that our cider has fermented all the way out and that it's time for us to do the bottling, the fun stuff. There's a bunch of different ways that you can take a sample. This one's just a stainless steel baster. You do need to make sure you have enough liquid in your test jar that your triple scale hydrometer can float. We're gonna go ahead and cut this. It's the raspberry and lime cider flavoring. We're gonna add that in. We're going to give it a good stir, let it sit for 48 hours, and then we're ready for bottling.
Okay, so Paula is sanitizing the bottles.
I'm also using the fast rack tray. This helps hold everything while it's draining and has it ready for bottling. Let's put our auto siphon together, get the tubing on there, get the combination bottle filler on here so we can get this into a bottle ready to condition. So first off, we're going to use a regular auto siphon. When you use that, make sure you have cleaned and sanitized it and that the anti-sediment tip is attached. Then you're going to take what looks like just an old-fashioned racking cane. Put that in there. Then I'm going to attach the tubing. The tubing's going to be difficult to get attached. It's easier if it's wet, and it's really a lot easier if it's wet and it's hot. In this case, I'm just gonna use my brute force. I'm gonna go ahead and attach our combination bottle filler. Same thing. It's gonna be hard to get on there. You're gonna almost feel like it shouldn't go on. Seriously, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna run some Star Sand through here till it's dry, and then I'm gonna feel really confident that we can go ahead and bottle. Okay, so as long as whatever you are filling is below your auto siphon, and you have pushed this down to create an open system, all of this is gonna flow through very easily. Okay, so I'm gonna try to just kind of empty this out, preferably not on the floor, but I think it's going on the floor. Don't worry about the foam or the bubbles. We're gonna just put it in there.
So we are using Brewer's Best conditioning tablets, and because we're using 22-ounce bottles, we are going to use 8 for a medium carbonated cider. So I added 8 tablets of these carbonation drops to these bottles, and make sure if you're adding it, you read exactly how many you need depending on the size of your bottle. And then we're just going to go ahead and fill our bottles right on top of that. Okay, I'm good.
So we've got these already filled. I'm gonna grab our sanitized caps. I personally like to put them right on the magnet using a Red Baron bottle capper. And there we have it. We're ready to carbonate. Carbonation should take about 2 weeks. You can do it this way as well. Whichever way makes you happy.
It has been 2 weeks and we have let the cider condition in the bottles, and now it's time for the best part, the taste test.
Cheers.
I'm definitely getting the lime.
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm not getting a lot of it in the smell.
No, I didn't smell any lime. In fact, it smelled berry-ish. Like full of berries.
But
it's refreshing.
I would definitely say it's more lime than raspberry, but it's still really, really good. And I do taste the raspberry. The lime is just more prevalent.
I like lime.
Oh, I do too. I'm not complaining.
But you have to like lime to like this one. But
I think it's solid.
I think we should take the rest of the day off and we should go to the swimming pool and take this with it because it needs that.
Yeah, and we can add ice to this for sure.
I will not be mad if we do.
Cool. Well, if you want to make your own raspberry lime hard cider or any other flavor of hard cider that we carry, just head to our website. We have a lot of different kits available and they're easy to make. I mean, you just watched us make it. You saw it.
Like, if you're new to brewing and you're thinking, I want to get my toe wet and try something, but I don't want to commit to a full-on beer or a wine, I think the cider might be the answer for a new brewer. What do you think?
I actually do too, because it's not quite as complicated as a beer.
Right.
I would go so far to say it's not even as complicated as a wine.
I would 100% agree with you.
And as far as tasting, I feel like introducing someone to beer and wine, hard cider is the way to go. Because if I were to never have had wine or beer, and I drink a cider, it's a lot more like what you're used to if you drink like juice or a smoothie or something like that. Like, it's a good introduction into the alcoholic world.
And we do want to be your introduction.
Yeah. So go get a cider kit. Cheers.